Good morning, good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Sarah and this is my channel, Sew Me Sarah. This is a little corner of YouTube where I talk all about cross stitch, sometimes other needleworks and whatever other little chit-chatty bits come into mind on the day. It is Sunday, the 7th of September 2025. And yes, we're in the final third of our year and the Burr months. Those of us in the Northern Hemisphere who love the Burr months are beginning to get very happy. It is a bit grungy outside today, although it's brightened up just before I hit the button to record here. So the light is a tiny bit better, but I imagine it's going to dip in and out this morning. So I'll see if I can get on without having to put the ring light on and having the extra rings on my glasses. Anyway, today I've got some chit chat for you at the beginning and at the end. There's a little bit of detail. Tariffs is the hot topic at the moment, so I've got a little bit of conversation about those in terms of Historical Sampler Company and Cotton Twine subscription boxes. I also have a little thought of my own that I wanted to add at the end of that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I should have said welcome, so I'm sorry about that. I've completely forgotten to welcome you. So welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all of you who keep coming back time after time. And those of you who find me newly, I'm glad that you enjoy it enough to stick around and subscribe, if you will. Those of you who are here for the very first time on this episode, I hope that you enjoy what I have to share. I always say now that there are so many of us here in the Flosstube community that you're bound to land on somebody who is your cup of tea. And I may not be that cup of tea, but give me a try. And if not, then go and have a good look, because you will find the type of stitcher that you are looking for, because we are many and varied and you will find us. Okay, thank you all for being here with me today. So since the last time, I want to say another thanks for all your lovely comments on the last video, welcoming Charlotte back. I know that you all love to see her. She's not around quite so much because I try to record really when she's not here. It's just easier. And as you can tell, she's got a mind of her own, so she was very determined that we were finished with Flosstube at a certain point. But she does like to come and chat. I do think that girl could have her own channel and she'd probably have more subscribers than I do. But anyway, it would be full of nonsense and whatever, but she'd be having a ball. But thank you all for your kind comments and your warm wishes for her. So on a little admin point, I've got two winners that have been announced on the channel previously who haven't spoken up yet. So I'm just going to do a final call for each of those. First is for Nativity Tiny Town. Now this is actually the second person who has been drawn for this. Tracy Evans KV2UU. That is the name that YouTube is giving me for you. Tracy Evans KV2UU. So if you are Tracy, please get in touch with me, because I would love to send you Nativity Tiny Town, and this is a final call for this one. You can get in touch via the email address that's in the drop down below, or on Instagram you could direct message me. I'm Sew Me Sarah over on Instagram. I just need your mailing address so that I can pop this in the post to you. The other one is for the PDF version of Determined Woman. It's a pattern by Sarah at Sobe Stitchery. Sarah kindly offered me a copy to send to you, so I will get your email address and send that to Sarah, and then she will send you on a copy of Determined Woman. So the winner of that was called last time, and it was Heidi Camp 7184. So Heidi, also if you could drop me a message either by the email in the drop down below or on Instagram at Sew Me Sarah. Drop me a message and let me know the email address that you would like your chart sent to. So I really hope that I hear from both of you, because they're lovely patterns and I want to share the goodness of those with you. I will have another giveaway at the end of today's episode, so if you can bear with me till then, there's some goodness that's available for you to have a try at winning. Okay, I have 2 FFOs to share. So since the last time I finished 2 little pieces, and they happen to both be designed by Yasmin's Made with Love. Yasmin is a lovely UK designer. She's based in London. She is Polish herself. She lives in London with her family, and she is a prolific designer and creative spirit. So if you don't know Yasmin, I highly recommend that you go and follow her. She has her own YouTube channel, Yasmin's Made with Love, and she has her own shop as well. Now, when I went away with some friends on a little private retreat earlier this year in March, and we went to Wales. Yasmin very kindly designed a little retreat piece for us. And so this is an exclusive. It's not for sale on her shop, although she might release it at some time. But it's sort of little, I think those are like little pansies and probably daffodils for the Welsh connection. So they're meant to signify daffodils. And it's this beautiful circular design. I love the swoops and swirls around it. I changed the colours a little bit from Yaz's suggestion just because they weren't showing up so well for me, and I brightened up the greens a little bit. I think the original greens were sort of more olivey tones, so I brightened them up a little bit. And I stitched it on a 40 count linen. It's 40 count Spygart blush, so there's a pinky tone of this linen. I love this linen so much. And as you can see, I finished it with a little bit of yellow chenille trim. And on the back, this little bit of Tilda I thought went really well with the colours that I chose for the pansy. The colours are all in keeping with Yaz's recommendations. I think I took one of the main colours and then I went up or down a couple on the DMC scale for them, just so they would show up better on my fabric. So that is my little finish of my retreat memento from the Love Spoon Stitchers, as we called ourselves. So thank you for the beautiful pattern, Yaz, and I love this piece. It's full of memories of a very fun weekend away. So the next piece by Yaz that I finished is the Nordic winter piece, and this is the piece, and it's mounted on the box that Yaz painted. Yaz paints and sells boxes like these with all kinds of different designs on them. Now this was last year's box because Yaz very kindly gifted this to me at Stitch in London for my birthday present. And it was a whole kit that came with the box and the chart, and then I just chose threads. Now I didn't stitch the entire chart. There was another ring, another border ring, but I liked it this size, and I stopped here, and then I put a little bit of this trim on it. If you can see, it's like an upholstery trim, and I think that worked really nicely with this piece. So I'm absolutely thrilled, and now I've got a little Christmas treasure box. And Yaz paints her boxes on the inside too, see? And that's her little card down there. Let me hold that up for you. Yasmin's Made with Love. There you go. And as I said, she paints the insides of her boxes too. So I think this would be a great little box for Christmas threads and trims and notions. So it's gonna go upstairs into where my other sewing bits and pieces are kept, and I will fill it full of Christmas goodies. So thank you so much, Yaz, for the beautiful present, for the beautiful design. Now I did look, after I showed you the pattern while I was stitching it, I had a look on her website, and I don't think that she is selling this pattern just yet as a separate pattern. It is called Nordic Winter, so you could take a note if you like it. And you can always ask her. Yaz is super approachable. Use the contact us information or the contact us buttons on her website, or contact her through Instagram or whatever. She's super responsive. And if you're interested and would like it, ask her if it's going to become available. I imagine it will at some point. It was just part of this kit that she was selling next year. And if you like the idea of having the box all painted and kitted, she had beautiful ones one time with bees and things on them as well. But mandalas and flowers are a particular favorite of hers. and she does sell those boxes from time to time. So definitely keep an eye on her social media posts and on her website as well, if that is something that would interest you in having one of those kind of kits when they're available. So thank you again, Yaz. 2 beautiful Yasmin finishes today. And lovely to have some more finishes out of the FFO drawer, out of the finished object drawer, and fully finished now. Okay, I have another couple of stitch finishes, and they are actually both starts and finishes since last time I was here. So last time I was here was midweek. It was a Wednesday, and on the Friday we were going to go away for a little weekend break up our north coast, as we call it. Up the north coast. We went to Port Valentine, which is a lovely seaside, a little tiny seaside village, and we stayed in a little apartment. And I got a surprise because hubby had arranged that my son would come home and he would join us for the weekend. So that was a real surprise. We were traveling out that morning and hubby said he had to deliver some papers to his business partner. Could we take a little detour and then head up the motorway that way? And I said, right, okay. But we went on this detour to pass on the papers to his business partner, and it turned out not to be that at all. It turned out to be picking Andrew up at the airport. So that was a really lovely surprise. Charlotte was beside herself with excitement that her big brother was home and coming on our little weekend break away up the north coast. So it was great to see him. I wasn't expecting to see him, and you know us mummies, we always love when our chickens come home. So anyway, we were going away for that weekend, and I wanted to take a couple of very simple pieces of stitching with me, just that I would be able to concentrate on in some small moments whilst we were away, and not knowing what the light would be like and all of that kind of thing. I didn't want anything too complicated. So I started and finished Determined Woman by Sobe Stitchery, by Sarah at Sobe Stitchery. I showed you this last time and kind of promptly came off the Flosstube recording and started it so that it would be ready to take away for the weekend, and I did take it away and finished it. So I love it. It is such a nice piece. I love red and white. I haven't stitched as much red and white as I think I should have. I think I came out of quilting before I came back to stitching. I came out of quilting, and when I quilted, I did a lot of red and white quilts. Loved them, they were my favorite. And I think at that time also we redecorated our house and changed things around, and for those reasons I also changed my colors and the stitching and that kind of thing. So I kind of didn't stitch red and white, but you'll see I'm definitely getting back into my red and white. So this is a small one. It was lovely. I love the quote. I love that it's literary, and I love the bird on there too. So it's a beautiful design that Sarah has put together, and it's available in PDF, so it's available for everyone to be able to access. So yeah, I'm really happy with that little finish. It's just stitched on a I think it's a 36 count soft ivory. No, it's 40 count Zweigart soft ivory. And I stitched it in Auversois silk. Oops, sorry, off to the side. Auversois silk 103s in the number 681. I think it's a lovely red. I have been gathering some 103 reds in different shades just to see which ones I like, and obviously with a view to stitching more and more reds. But this one, 681, is lovely. I really like that real red, so that's a nice one. And my next small stitch is also connected to Sarah at Sobe Stitchery, but this one was a gift to me last year as a birthday present. She sent me the Plum Street Samplers piece, the birthday tart, and I really wanted to get it started this year, and I thought this would be a nice one to take away for the weekend away. So again, I started it I think the night before we went away, just so that I would have a start and a position on the fabric, and then I stitched it up. This one is stitched on a 36 count Pemberley from Swan Bay Fabrics. This little dot at the top is just me telling me that that is the top left-hand corner of my fabric, so that I orientate everything properly when there were only a few stitches in and I wasn't sure which way was upside down. But this is the piece. Now, as you can see, I hope you can see, mine is quite darker than the model stitched on the fabric. And that's because I used the DMC alternatives and not the fancy flosses. If I'd had the fancy flosses, I would have done it. And I like them better. I like this look better. It's kind of softer, not quite so brown. So I guess the other thing I would do if I was to do this again would be to try to match my DMCs to this picture rather than just taking the list as it's given. But it's still autumnal and beautiful, and I did manage to buy, I don't know if you can see, this one is finished in a little tart tin, and I did manage to get some tart tins off Amazon, so I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if I can do a tart tin finish on this. It is a little bit more brown and darker brown than I would have wanted it to be, but I think it still looks beautiful, and it will be lovely with my autumn decorations, which I'll have to get out soon actually and put up. I didn't stitch the 31, so on this piece there's an initial, there's a P here, so I did S for me. And the 31 down here, I didn't want to put 31 in, so I just made another one of these swirls that that are around the rest. I just filled that gap with a swirl. So it's a very sweet little stitch. I love that it was a birthday present stitch, so thank you very much, Sarah. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it's funny too, because the threads, I think, are making the fabric look darker. So this piece of Pemberley, sorry, I almost sneezed. This piece of Pemberley from Swan Bay Fabrics, I would say Pemberley's not always as dark as this, but I think the threads are making it look a little bit darker. It's not dark, but you know what I mean. Anyway, a lovely little stitch and lots of fun, and perfect for a weekend away. I didn't quite get that one finished while we were away. I did finish it up in a few nights when we came back. Okay, my whips. So I worked on 2 other whips, and one of them I can't show you. It's the Daily Thread stitch, and it is my Smalls exchange piece for Stitch in London, which is creeping up on me. And my Smalls exchange piece is a Crochet A Go-Go pattern. And as always with them, there's more stitching in them than you realize when you start. So it's taking me a little bit longer than I had thought it would to get to, but it's really coming together nicely now, and hopefully I'll get it finished this week, I hope, which give me some time, a couple of weeks to get it fully finished then to pass on at Stitch in London. So it's coming along. It's probably 80% of the way there, and I'm enjoying that. My other whip that I was stitching on is Tiny Modernist, the Bee Queen, and this is, as you know, if you've been here before, this is a stitch that I started on my year of 50 starts last year, and then this year I've picked it up in support of Andrew the runner stitcher as he was preparing for the Sydney Marathon. He did a challenge called Whip into Shape and invited us to choose a whip that we wanted to make big progress on and stitch along with him all the way through his training schedule. So I think we did 4 months of that. And the idea was that as he trained, we would stitch. So if he ran 5 miles in his training day, then we would multiply by 10 and stitch 50 stitches. Or you could stitch for the length of time it took him to run the 5 miles that day. So if it took him, I don't know how long it takes to run 5 miles, but let's say half an hour, then you would stitch for half an hour. So people did it that way. Some people decided they wanted to challenge themselves a bit more, and they said they would stitch 26 stitches for every mile that Andrew ran, or some other number that suited them. So there were quite a few of us stitching along with Andrew as he trained for the Sydney Marathon. Now, life just stepped in and poor Andrew didn't get to go to Sydney, but he is continuing the challenge on into November because although he didn't get to go to Sydney, he is now in training for the New York City Marathon, and that will be in November. So he has a training schedule to the end of October, and some of us, I think most of us, are continuing to stitch with him. Now, I'm kind of grateful that he's continuing because up to the end of August, which is when he was supposed to run in Sydney, up to the end of August, I managed to get her dress finished, but there's still quite a bit to go on the pattern. So there's still a couple of toadstools and a lot of flowers along the bottom. So in the next couple of months, as Andrew trains, I will be stitching here to fill in. But anyway, look at her dress. Isn't it beautiful? I'm so in love with this piece, and I know it looks really strange because she's headless. Look, her poor head is up here. I promise. And I don't want to unwind her because she's just nicely stretched. But I loved her dress. I stitched all of the background and left the space for all the colour to go in, and it was just lovely to watch the colour build and really bring that skirt to life. So that is my progress on the Bee Queen, and I'm delighted, sad for Andrew that he didn't get to Sydney, but delighted to keep training alongside him and be able to get this one finished this year, I hope, within his next training schedule. So that is the Bee Queen by Tiny Modernist. The rest of my stitching was new starts. And I have good excuses. I tell you really great excuses why I started every one of them. But basically just because I wanted to. One of them did fall out of the cupboard at me. And I'll show you that one now. It's Peony. And let me show you. They've got, oops, sorry, I'm losing threads here. Okay, Peony. This is Peony. I hope you can see it starts to take shape. It is a kit. It fell out of the cupboard at me and I took it as a sign that it needed to be started. It fell out of the cupboard and I thought, that's really lovely. Actually, I'd like to have a go at that. So it is a kit. I'm using the kit materials. It's 14 count Ada, so it feels humongous, but it's lovely. It's a lovely eye brick, actually. This is a magic needle kit, and I've stitched 2 of the colours in so far. There are 14 colours in this chart, and as you can see, I think 12 of them are pinks and creams. And I stitched 2 of the colours in, so I did do it kind of colour completing, and it's really nice because you can actually see the shape of the flower and the petals coming in. So yeah, for no other reason than it jumped at me literally out of the cupboard, I made a start on this little peony kit. So got a bit to go, obviously, because it's pretty, it's full coverage essentially, but it will be really nice to see the different shades coming in and adding depth and texture to those petals. So I think it's doing pretty well already, actually. So that was really nice to make a start on. And then another piece that I made a start on, everything's got a needle in the top left hand corner today because I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm getting back to that. I just parked my needle at the top. The other piece is, I'll insert a picture here. It's called the Exchange Strawberry, and it's a piece that was inspired by Michelle Rea. She designed it for an exchange that she was doing, and she very kindly put it on her Instagram feed for us all to have the pattern. So I stitched another one of these last month, and I want to do one more. So this one is in a beautiful red Gloriana silk called Pomegranate, and I just love it. Let me see if you can see the variegation in there. It's very subtle, but it's very lovely. And this is such a beautiful design, it really is. I feel really blessed that we were offered this pattern for free by Michelle. And I'm looking forward to making these into little strawberries once I'm finished. One of you did ask me if I would do a tutorial for making the strawberries, and I will. Now, what I'm going to say is I have this one to do, I have another one to stitch, and then I'm going to be trying to FFO everything before the end of the month. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do the tutorial then, but I am going to stitch. If I don't get a tutorial done when I'm finishing these, it will be just a time issue. And what I will do is stitch another one and do a tutorial on it if I don't get the tutorial for this. Hopefully I will, but if I don't, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I've left everything too late and I've pushed for time and need to get these ones finished to get out. It does take a long time to film a stitching tutorial as you break things down and make sure you're explaining them properly. But I haven't done one for a long time. I used to do quite a few when I was quilting. I have a quilting blog, for those of you who don't know, called Sew Me Sarah. And if you are a quilter and you like tutorials for blocks and things, there are lots of tutorials on my blog. There's a tab across the top for tutorials. So I used to do lots of tutorials, and I know it takes a long time to pull all that together. Those are picture tutorials written for the blog rather than video tutorials. Anyway, blah, 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 blether, blether, blether. I will do a strawberry finishing tutorial, hopefully with these finishes, if I leave myself enough time to do that. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to stitch on this. This Gloriana silk, now I don't have huge experience with silks. I'm trying out a few 103s at the minute. I've got another one I'll show you shortly. I stitched the Determined Woman in 103s. I don't have lots of silk, but this, so far in my experience, this is the most beautiful, most beautiful silk. 103 is nice, but it's not as soft as this one. So, but as I said, I am not an expert and I'm not really educated enough in silk to be able to stand over my own opinions. So anyhow, pomegranate, Gloriana silk, the exchange strawberry pattern, and I have one more to do. So I need to get a wriggle on with those. And then my last new start is from Michelle at Mama Loves You GB. So a couple of months ago, I think, Michelle put out a pattern called a French Fancy. And this is a French Fancy. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that I loved it, but I didn't buy it. I thought, no, you've got enough, you don't need to buy it. But it sat in my head, and I thought, I'm building a little stash of red work stitches. They're not all samplers as in alphabet samplers, but you know, some of Jacob's pieces, other things I want to stitch in reds, and eventually I'll have a number of red pieces. But I thought, my collection will not be complete if I don't have a French Fancy in there. I absolutely adore this alphabet. So I got it from Michelle and I thought it was for my stash. It was not to be stitched yet. It was just to help grow my red stash. But of course I couldn't not start it. So I did. This is not the most exciting start you're going to see, but I put in all the stitches across, so I've got the full width. I've started the border just enough to allow me to have the landmark counting for the first letter. So the A is in. This is 103, Auvers Soie 103, and the number is 109. It's a beautiful red. It's really hard to get this to show because it's, you know, the light is hitting it on one side, it's very bright, and then it's much darker on this side. It's very hard to get it to show, but it's a beautiful deep red color. and I absolutely love it. I'm stitching it on a 40 count, and it is my first stitch on Cedar River linen albarium. So it's quite white, not white, but it's not a beige or a tan fabric, and I think it works beautifully with this color of silk. So that's the start of French Fancy. I think this is going to be a very long-term project, so but I just couldn't keep my hands off it, and I couldn't wait to get it started. So that is French Fancy by Mama Loves You GB. And that's all of my stitching. So it's not maybe as much as you would think for 2.5 weeks. I did have, this week I managed to pick up a virus, and I went to bed early with headaches. So stitching was not happening with the sore head. So maybe there were 3 or 4 nights where I missed some stitching, but anyway, I'm happy with the progress, and I do have plans now to get on and finish those Stitch in London stitches. So the exchange small, the Crocetta Go-Go pattern, needs to be finished. And those 2 exchange strawberries, that red one, and then 1 more need to be stitched, and then there are 3 of those altogether. I want to finish those up as gifts for some of the folks I'm going to see there. So I also, in my plans for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be looking at what stitches do I want to take to Stitch in London, to stitch at the retreat, and try to find something that's going to work for that. And by that I mean something that I can count and talk at the same time, or don't have to count because it'll be fill in. So I need to figure out which of the patterns that I have on the go would be sensible ones for doing that. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, it'll be ones that have good fill-in or a nice easy repetitive rhythm in a border or something like that. So nothing too complicated. So I need to make those decisions. The Across the Pond Sal is in its 9th month, so I've got a little bit of stitching to do for that. I hope to do that in the next couple of weeks. And the next couple of weeks will also see us hit the autumn equinox, and that's when Jackie and I, Jackie from Comfort Stitching, and I will start on the last of our last of our 4 seasons, ladies, and it will be the autumn one. So I'm looking forward to that. That will be so exciting to get the last one started in this lovely sal that we've been doing, the BA 4 Seasons sal that we've been doing all year. So for Get Connected today, I want to share another Flosstuber with you, and that is Jason Cross Stitches. Now, I'm sure many of you know Jason. He has not been on Flosstube for terribly long. In fact, he hasn't been stitching for very long. He's only been stitching for 9 months, but he has a great following on his channel, and for some reason I didn't find him until I happened to be on a Zoom call last weekend, and Jason was one of the other participants in the Zoom call. So it was really nice to meet him, and obviously there I learned about his channel. And I went over this week to have a look and see what his channel is about. And I thought I would share his channel with you here, because not only is it a lovely channel, and I think that you would enjoy Jason and his projects. He likes to stitch modern folk embroidery like I do too, so there was an instant connection for me there. But Jason also has some really great ideas about making connections in the community, and he has set up some things already. So he's got a group, I think he calls it Connections, and it's a group that is split into subgroups of maybe 4 people, and they're doing round robins together. And so he's got lots of these subgroups where people are able to be in a group and make connections and stitch for each other and share stitching and make plans for that and all kinds of things. So I obviously don't know all of the information and all of the detail, and if you want to know more, please go and find out more from Jason. Watch, ask him questions about how you could participate. But it's a brilliant way. He is making it possible for people to connect with one another in the community, and I thought it was really super. He does seem to be a very organized kind of guy, and he has some great ideas for the ways that he organizes things. So for example, on his latest episode, one of the things that he announced was that there will be a festive smalls swap. So something to do with the winter holiday season. And instead of you having to sign up now and say, yes, I'll do it, Jason's take on that was, if you want to do it, then you stitch something and then you sign up so that you already have your stitch done. And it's a bit like coming to the exchange table at a retreat. If you bring a piece, then you can take a piece. So if you bring a piece to his exchange, then you'll get one in return. Instead of you kind of committing now and then life, knocking your plans sideways and you don't get one. And I just thought that was a clever way to organize it. So Jason has obviously good organizational skills, and he's bringing those to bear in the community and creating opportunities for us to connect. So if you fancy a little festive small swap, you really should keep an eye on Jason's channel, because he'll give you all of the information and details on that going forward. So I just wanted to say thank you, Jason, for making those opportunities for us as stitchers. And it seems that you're obviously, the uptake on your ideas has been really good, so people are enjoying those opportunities, and it's great to see that the success of that. So so thanks for getting stitchers, getting them together and getting them working together. So do go and watch Jason at Jason Cross Stitches to learn more. Okay, so I have a little bit of admin to share. And it concerns the Cotton Twine subscription boxes, because they're making some changes, good changes I might add, to the way that they run their subscription services. And yeah, just to let you know about those things, and maybe mention tariffs just very, very briefly. I'm not going to get into anything too deep on that here, but yes, let me tell you about the Cotton and Twine subscription boxes. So you know that I've been working with Cotton and Twine. They are the subscription arm of the Historical Sampler Company, and I've been working with them on the Cotton and Twine subscription boxes this year, and also on their stitch alongs. And they very kindly send those to me so that I can share them with you, let you see what's available, what they offer, and tell you all about it. So the next box that is available is the September box, and that is available now for you to sign up to. I don't have it in my hand, so I can't show you the bits and pieces physically at the moment, but I will insert some pictures. So the September box has been designed by Krista Agogo, and you already know that I love her. And it's an absolutely gorgeous little pattern, and it is an autumn pattern. So, and I need to tell you that there will be the other seasons. She is designing the other 3 seasons for the subscription boxes. So if you want to get this and you want to be able to stitch all 4 of the seasons, I highly recommend that you sign up for the subscription box now. You have until the 25th of September to sign up for this subscription box. Okay, so that's the first thing. Gorgeous pattern, Crochet A Go-Go. It's going to be available in the usual gift box, and in the gift box there will be a sweet treat, which is a lovely little honeycomb bar. There will be a little gifty treat, which is a beautiful knitted pumpkin. There will probably be your tea bag, and you will have, of course, your full kit, with an option to have either 16 count Aida or 32 count linen. All of your flosses pre-sorted, and the pattern, and the finishing item for that piece. So it's a little cushion finish, so I believe there's going to be the fabric for finishing and the twine that goes around the edge of the cushion to finish it. Now that is for the full box subscription. and it's staying at the same price. It's £20 for the Ada box, £22 for the linen box, and then the postage that, depending on where you live, whether you're UK or international. Okay, that is the full box service. But Cotton and Twine are introducing 2 other options on their monthly subscription boxes, or monthly subscription services, I probably should say now. They're offering 2 other options for you. So if you just want to have the pattern, you don't want the box, you don't want the finishing items, you don't want the gift items, you just want to have the pattern and the floss and the fabric, then you can order the kit subscription. So you get everything that you need to stitch it just as a piece of stitching. You don't get the finishing items, you don't get the gift items, but you get the kit. And that comes at a cost of from £14 a month, depending where you're ordering from. Then there's another option, and that is that you just receive the PDF pattern every month instead. And that is a £7 per month options, from £7 per month. And then you just stitch it from your stash. You choose your own linens, you choose your own flosses, and you go for it and have fun. So there are now 3 different options on the subscription service. You can have the full box, you can have just the kit, or you can have the PDF only. And they're all priced accordingly, still all super value, no matter which one you're going to sign up for. And you sign up to the subscription box as you used to do. You can actually swap between those things on a monthly basis. So if one month you want the whole box and the next month you just want the PDF, you can do that in your subscription, on your subscription page. You can still pause your subscription if there's a month that you're not sure about and you don't really want that one. And you can cancel at any time, so you're not tied in forever and a day. So it's a super flexible subscription service, always has been, but now you've got these other options that you can have. You don't have to have a full gift box every month. And if that helps with maybe with the postage or whatever it is that you're not wanting to incur, or you don't want a Halloween ornament or something, you can skip that one and just go for the stitching. So I think it's a really super idea, and it's giving us, the consumers, lots and lots of options. So from this month, as I said, order by the 25th, you can have this Crochet A Go-Go project. This is the start of what will be 4 different seasons now. I don't know when the next ones will be. Presumably in a few months' time, we'll see the winter one, and then spring as well. They've got lots of really great designers working with them on their boxes coming up. So they've got, let me see, what do they tell me? Crochet A Go-Go, Hands-On Design, Stitcherovia, Little Dove Designs, Pony Stitches, and Yasmin's Made with Love. And of course, then they have some in-house designs as well. So absolutely brilliant news. I think this is a great idea, and I hope that it helps lots more people to avail of these stitches in whatever form suits them best. So that is everything, I think, yes, to do with the next available box in September. Again, if you are a first-time subscriber to their boxes, you can use the code FIRST15, FIRST15, and you'll get 15% off your first box. So that's a great discount as well. I'll put all of this information, or as much of this information as I can, into my show notes below so that you can check it out. But the gist is, this is really super flexible. You sign up, you can decide month by month. Once you've seen once you've seen what the pattern is and what the box is, you can decide if you want to stick with the full box, move to just the kit, or move to the PDF only. I think it's a brilliant idea. So that is the Cotton and Twine boxes. They are still shipping to the US, so please check all of that out. Cotton Twine are working to handle the tariffs on their side. All of this should be clear on their website, so please, if you are from the US and you know that tariffs are going to be applied, please don't be afraid to investigate with Historical Sampler Company and Cotton Twine to find out exactly how that's going to impact you. They have minimized it really, really well. They are handling the tariff payment here in the UK. Packages will arrive in the US without customers having to pay further tariffs. The tariffs can all be handled here, and that means that you will not get hit with any surprise fees when they're delivered at your side. So please keep in touch. I'll just say this about all of the UK companies, or all of the non-US companies, I should say, because it's not just UK. There's Canada and Europe and Australia and anywhere else, anywhere that's not US and who want to send to US. Please check with the companies or the designers and ask them how it's working with them. Please don't just assume that it doesn't work anymore, because lots of those companies are finding ways to make that work. And on that note, I just want to say that this week I've been watching quite a lot of floss tubes from businesses in our craft. And they're setting out their approach to the new trade tariffs, how they're dealing with them, what regulations and administration that they're having to put in at their end. Sadly, I've heard voices breaking, I've seen tears as they fear for their businesses, really. Some of them are very, very small businesses, and they don't know if they're going to be able to survive this, or if they're going to have a market going forward. So it must be a very anxious time for them. Some of the bigger businesses are adapting. They're changing course in some ways. They're introducing new offerings to try to combat losses in their revenue streams. And at this time, it's not easy for them to know what the best thing to do is. So what I want to say is, please, 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 can we as a community offer them some grace at this time, at this period of adjustment? They won't be able to make everybody happy. The plans that they're putting into place won't satisfy all of our needs and wishes. And even though it's a business that they really love and that they're passionate about, they're not doing this just for us. They all have families to feed, homes and bills to pay. So whatever decisions they feel that they've had to make, whatever plans and new procedures have been kind of forced upon them, really, and whatever they've had to put in place that works for their business, because each business is going to be quite individual. They don't need us telling them that they're doing the wrong thing or that they're letting us down. And I've seen a few of those comments in this week, and I just think that's going to add so much extra pressure to those people. They don't want to let us down. That is not what they want to do. They're just trying to make a living, to be honest. And it's wonderful we are here enjoying our hobby, but for them it's more than a hobby. It's an income. It's it's their livelihood. So please, please, let's be gracious. And even if we don't like what they're doing, that's okay. We don't have to sign up for the new thing that they're doing, but or go with, we don't have to sign up for the new thing that they're doing, but we can just quietly not do that instead of giving them grief. They're carrying a lot of weight and a lot of worry at this time, so let's not add to that. So, okay, sorry that was a wee bit heavy. Anyway, there are lots of businesses finding ways to make things happen for us and for them as best they can. Let's continue to support them. Let's continue to be kind. And anyway, there'll always be too much for us to be able to actually stitch. Okay, I have a giveaway, and it's back to the Cotton Twine boxes. This is the August box, and it is the Halloween one. and it arrived. So the box arrived with me quite late. And that's why I'm giving it away now. And the reason it arrived late is because Historical Sampler Company were busting themselves to try to get out their Cotton and Twine subscription boxes that were international. They were trying to get out their advent calendar boxes that were international US. Everything they were trying to get to the US ahead of tariffs so that their customers didn't get hit with unpleasant surprises in terms of charges. So they just put some other things on hold and reprioritized. That's because they have you in mind. So this box came a little bit late, but I'm going to offer it to you as a giveaway. And there's still time, I hope, for you to get it started before Halloween if you happen to be the winner. I will call the winner on my next episode. So this is the August 2025 box, and the design is Happy Halloween. It's very cute. It is very cute. I don't stitch Halloween, but this is very cute. You get everything you need to finish it. So you get the black frame, it's in here. Let me get that up for you. So the black frame is here. Your kit is here. So this kit happens to be a 32 count Ada. It looks like platinum. It's very similar to platinum if it isn't platinum. It is a Zweigart fabric, so it's beautiful. Look at these colors. They're so perfect. All sorted for you. That's your threads, and your needle is tucked in there as well. So you can get stitching straight away. And of course, this is your pattern. And as always, it's a lovely A3 pattern. Lovely color copy, and on the back there's a black and white copy as well. So that is the pattern for the August box, and as I said, I'm going to give it away. I promise not to eat the jelly beans that have been included as the sweet treat. I will send those to you as well. There's an Earl Grey tea in here, and the little goodie is Gisela Graham ornament, and she is the little witch. She's sweet. Ooh, let's not obscure her face quite so much. So she's got cute little boots and her witchy broom and the stars on her little skirt as well. I love her curly hair. Can you see? So all of this can be yours. All you need to do is be over 18 so that I can legally ask you for a mailing address. Be a subscriber, please, because I want to share the goodness with those who support this channel. You can be international. If you're US, I believe that I can send a gift to you without any nonsense. So please feel free, and I will be marking it when I send it as a gift and everything else. So if you are US and you happen to win, I'll send it that way. What else do you have to do? Oh yeah, you have to use the word jelly beans in your comment. It won't really matter if it's all one word or two words, or something approximating the spelling of jelly beans, but I'll put it down here anyway. But I do check the comments. I just randomly choose a comment, and if that comment has the word jelly beans in it, I will read it. So I'm not asking it to filter by a particular spelling or by one word or two words. So it just gives people a chance for error to still be picked up and entered into the giveaway. So I look forward to being able to send that to one of you. And as I said, I'll draw that on the next episode, which should be in about 2 weeks' time. So hopefully around the 21st, I will get back to you and with another episode. Hopefully I'll have finished my Stitch in London preparations and not be totally leaving it to the last minute. So yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back to you. The next few weeks should see folks start showing their starts on their market purchases. So I'm looking forward to seeing that across Flosstube. And I'm very much getting in the mood for Stitch in London, obviously, and all the fun that is. So in the comments below today, you could tell me what you're looking forward to in the next couple of weeks, whether that's stitchy related or otherwise. Let me know what's going on and what you're looking forward to. So yes, hope to see you in 2 weeks. And until then, please stay well and stitch happy. Bye.